I've been feeling just a little bit low. Got to get back to the show. You don't have to feel like you're on your own. No one should have to stand alone on tonight. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give no shade if you wanna hide away. We just have you trying to play second drills up in the memory bank. I've been looking for somebody to make memories in the bank forever in time. There's no reason to be hard to find, 'cause we've already lost our mind. You and me, we're gonna write a little history. You and me, just show me love and then you'll see. Memories that we make, they are never gonna fade for a lifetime. We don't give a shade if you wanna hide away. We just have you trying to play second drills up in the memory bank.
Good evening, everyone. It's been a long time since I streamed, and we are now going to be streaming a community tournament this month. It's going to be Blitz Premier Cup, and tonight we're going to do the qualifications, the wildcard tournament, as well as a couple of draws tonight. So it's going to be packed with a lot of excitement and a lot of different stuff, and you won't be bored in any minute. So this is the third iteration, and it's a lot of fun as always. And this year we have 12 teams. So before I continue, tonight we have some special guests with me. Because there's a wildcard tournament happening tonight, I'll be joined by Fugit as the co-commentator and WoTB as the analyst. So, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Right. So, just thanks for being here as always, and thanks for joining us. And as always, hopefully we have more people showing up, and already 70 viewers, so that's brilliant. Tonight, the schedule is roughly as follows. In around 12 minutes, this stream has a 3-minute delay, and contrary to the 5-minute delay I always impose in my streams in the official seasons. But this will be a 3-minute delay, and from my time in around 12 from my time, and this. By the time I spoke this, it would have 3 minutes would have passed. But anyway, it's going to get too complicated. So around 12 minutes, we'll have D1S versus TRNMT, starting off in the best of 5 series. And the notorious Cam Steer will be the first map to begin the night. And then we have Normandy and Rockfield. The same set of maps will be played around 45 minutes later of the start time of D1S versus TRNMT. It's quite a tongue twister, isn't it? We have Red Team versus W-2-B. And the winners of these two matches will face one another in 45 minutes later again. And the maps will be Wintermine, Northcote, Port Bay, and A Frontier. And these maps are drawn using random.org. So it's quite random. And then after all games finish, we'll do the draws. We have the group draw, fixture draw, and a map draw. So basically, the group draw, it will happen in the following way. Each column represents a pot, so only 2 clans from each column will be allocated to group 1, and the rest of the 2 clans will be allocated to group 2. So that means, for example, LOCA, Jones, Serenity won't be in the same group, and then you won't have one single clan from that column in another group. So, for example, you won't have Jones only in group 2, let's say, for example. The winner of this qualifying tournament tonight will be in pot C, alongside TDT, SPRTA, and ZGS. And the map pool will be the same as the Blitz EU Cup. So if you haven't noticed already, Fort Despair and Dynasty's Peril are removed, and we have the introduction of Ghost Factory to the map pool. We are happy to announce, we are very delighted to announce that we are proudly sponsored by Harry, the clan. And if you want to donate to the prize pool of this tournament, Blitz Premier Cup Season 3, the links are below. Below €100, please donate to my PayPal account, and about $100, please donate to WoTB's account. So, that being said, have fun and enjoy the show tonight. So, both Fugit and WoTB, what do you expect tonight?
Oh, well, I'll say first, and then WoTB can basically shoot me down because he knows more about this stuff than me. What do I expect tonight? Well, I expect a heavy meta, of course, but I'm also looking to see if any of these teams are going to roll out in a concept 1B, because I know some of the clans have been training with the 1B. Now it's over to Noob.
Yeah, I also kind of expect like a few concept 1Bs, not too much of a spam of those, unlike when the T22 was released. I think it is a really strong tank, but I do not feel like it is going to absolutely change the meta. But still, it's only going to be a first taste of what might come to the meta here in World of Tanks Blitz, with the first games here mostly also
much of a
in the
spam of
first
those,
games of the
unlike
tournament.
when the
It's rather
T22 was
everyone
released.
playing safe
I
and
think it
just
is a
testing
really
out
strong
what is
tank,
possible
but
at
I
the
do
moment.
not feel like it is.
And
Yeah.
deciding to go for the more riskier stuff later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a situational tank, I find to be. In looking at the maps that we've got here, Camp Stiller, Normandy, and Rockfield, I've seen a few clans in training take out concepts on those maps. So looking forward to it, because it is situational to an extent. But I am looking forward to see if they do roll them out. But I have to agree with you. It's the opening games, and generally go with what you know.
Yeah, maybe it's going to get a bit more closer in the end. I think at the start nobody wants to be the one to make huge mistakes. Maybe some of those teams are also going for this approach of, playing the final card right at the start, trying to surprise the enemies. But I would rather expect them to just play safe and see where it goes. They do not want to miss their chance to get into this tournament.
Yeah. The other thing, which obviously both of you can, I'd like to get your thoughts from both of you. We call it Camp Stiller. It used to be a very campy map, but more recently we are seeing a lot more aggressive strats on that map. And there seems to be a lot more action going on. Do you think the strats have evolved somewhat across the esports scene to be more sort of aggressive on Castilla than previously?
I mean, let me go first for this one. I do think there is quite a shift in the approach to tournaments in the last 1 or 2 years. I think when I began esports, 3 years ago, the meta used to be very centered around the caps. So this is why Campsteer got its name, because this is pretty much the only map where you can defend all A, B, and C from both sides without having the other team from getting hold of these 3 caps. But now we're shifting, the meta is now shifting towards more of a kind of wait and ambush tactic. So we're gearing more towards finding the weakness in how the team was set up, and trying to focus and trying to wear down that team through that weakness. And I do think it has started to evolve from the top teams, and then now I think the kind of the middle echelon, the kind of the middle of the pack teams start to learn about this kind of tactic as well. I do think now Campsteer is not really that campy anymore, because now there are lots of ways to find weakness in your kind of in your setup, with a lots of terrain and a lots of really close areas, so you get a lot of fun to play with. It's quite different now, and I do think now, for example, Normandy would become the next Campsteer by the looks of it. But I don't know. Me too. What do you think?
Yeah, Normandy also quite an open map that is, does have a lot of room to play with. But Campsteer, also there is this little difference, this little bit of an unbalancing in the spawns. Like on the north spawn, it is a bit easier to defend and get the A cap. I don't know how aware the team were of that like a couple of years ago already. I think nowadays most of the top teams are aware, and many are just making use of that. But also we are in a very heavy meta right now, where the TDs are not playing an insanely huge role anymore, and rather being replaced by some autoloaders instead. So those are also much more capable of going for some pushes in various areas, either C or the A area. Although right now it mostly shifted towards the 60 TPs, which do have the TD alpha and yet being a super heavy tank, being great at pushes as well as for holding with their insanely great turret armor. And yeah, it's going to be definitely very interesting to see what we can expect on this map here, as there are so many different options. Camping, going aggressive might go wrong, and it would be quite funny to see. Or maybe we are going to see some super aggressive gameplay work out at the start of the tournament already.
I go back to what you just said there, actually, Noob, because you mentioned about the TDs. I mean, Castilla sometimes gets a TD depending on your spawn. And again, I've seen some clans on Normandy take a TD on occasion, but again, depending on the spawn. Rockfield, not so much. Rockfield always seems to be just get that light tank in that middle area, spotting from that bush between B and C, and get everybody else either send a couple to the C cap and send everybody else to look at A and B. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this. I mean, the 60 TP is going to be a big showing because it is a very strong tank, despite its ammo rack ability, which a lot of the players now have managed to be able to obviously put their equipment, get their equipment together, and put those consumables on there to try and resist that ammo racking. So we're not going to see 15, 16 like we saw on the RU server during Blitz Cup. But it's still got a very weak ammo rack, to be fair, and it still doesn't have tremendous DPM, but it is a very strong tank. So, like I said, I'm interested to see what they roll out in. Maybe we'll see some Yos or something like that. It's just very difficult to say. But yeah, I think TDs can still make a showing on 2 of these out of these 3 maps. Maybe.
Absolutely, they are not off the table, especially on Castilla and Real. It's not too unlikely to see some TD in around the corner of A or on one of those hills.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still going to be interesting because those TDs are most likely quite useless when it comes to the pushes. And it is a bit of a risk. And last Blitz Cup also mostly the setups were really heavy, very few mediums and light tanks. And I guess especially as we are not at the top level of our participants here just yet, we are most likely going to see rather solid setups here.
Yep, and we only have, we only have around a minute to go until they can start the earliest. Obviously, this is a community tournament, so things are a bit more lax. But we have full team for both sides, so we don't have to worry about a late start tonight. And here we are, D1S versus TRNMT. D1S on the left, on the red team, and TRNMT on the blue team. Previously, they've played one another in the lower echelon championship in the autumn season. TRNMT won D1S 3-2. Was a really close result, so I would be expecting something similar here tonight. Both of them being quite similar, but D1S are in general, on average, slightly better during the previous skill tournament, so it's up for grabs, basically, in my opinion. And thanks, Nubita. I will also see you very soon after the matches for the analysis. And here we go, the first match on Campsteer. Looking at the setup, we have D1S going for triple 60 TPs and Ronaldinho TRNMT going for one single 60 TPs. And it's a little bit of a late start for me. So both teams spreading out a little bit. D1S committing more of their forces towards C. What are you seeing right now, Fugit?
I'm seeing an interesting lineup from both teams here. I mean, the IS-7s, since they've been sort of tinkered with their little buff, they've been a phenomenally great tank. Still seeing the Yos, brace of 50 TPs, 60 TPs. Interested with the Soul 50B on tournament here. And Remy and the Vickers really getting pummeled there by skilled Skellington.
Yeah, but D1S already got 2 caps already, so they will have a substantial cap lead now. TRNMT will be getting A, but D1S are really not losing any opportunity to go aggressive here. They're really trying to press Skilled Skeleton, and also they Mario here. Pressure's definitely on TRNMT though, but they have a little bit more of the advantage with the hit points. So let's see how TRNMT is going to approach this.
They do, but just looking at D1S, I mean, they've put their tanks in very good positions here. They're really trying to protect that B cap, knowing that the C cap is very difficult to take. Pretty interested to see that Shinju and Remy here are pushing down onto the Vickers of tournament. He is isolated, and if they can get him out the game, that'll be a big blow for tournament.
Yeah, but at the same time, we are seeing potentially a big push coming in from Tournament here, and that's quite a lot of tanks going into that push. D1S don't want to go into Neymar just yet. This could be a trap set up well by Tournament.
And I tell you what, if that works, that is it's going to work. Down goes the Vickers of Remy. I mean, that is a big loss for D1S. They're now going to look at possibly losing an IS-7. That has not paid off for them. That is really good rotation back through the spawn there by Tournament. Despite the fact they were they're a cap down, they are really piling on that pressure.
Yeah, that was a great trap setup by Tournament. I think D1S didn't really calculate that much, and Tournament, I think, with really good focus fire, now trying to get Albanian out of the way, but it was about to start, and that tank would be taken out by Musiak, and that was quite a convincing move from Tournament.
It was, but Ronaldinho here he's losing a hefty amount of hit points for Tournament. So is Ronaldo. They've got to be very careful. I mean, they have got more guns on the battlefield, and they've got a lot more hit points now. It's 3 against 6. And I just don't think the push there from D1S was necessary on that Vickers. They had the caps, they just needed to protect their caps.
Yeah, I agree with you right here, and I would say D1S got quite greedy. They want to take tanks, so they want to expand their advantage, but TRNMT know what they're doing. They set up the trap pretty well. That Vickers held the pressure pretty well, and they just pushed in, and D1S doesn't seem to have a plan to counter that.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it was a great counter move by Tournament. We're in the last throes of the game here. I can't see D1S bringing it back. It was a great counter move by Tournament by bringing all their tanks back to their spawn. Their Vickers lost. In fact, he's still alive. There he is there, Neymar. He's still alive, still very healthy. I think it was just a bad move by D1S. I don't think they needed to push that far that quickly.
No, I think it was not a good calculated move. They thought that was a nice little tank here. TRNMT definitely has the strat. It was a strat from Tournament. It wasn't a misplay, I would say, by Tournament by any means at all. Let me look at the damage here. The damage numbers we're seeing Tournament having 5 tanks doing more than 2,000 damage, and only D1S with 2. So obviously TRNMT is coming up with the victory here, quite a convincing one in fact. And Remy, that Vickers unfortunately didn't do anything in terms of damage, but definitely spotted the entire Tournament team counter-rotating, but to no avail. Right, so let's see if hopefully graphics are looking good on the stream. Hopefully everything is working fine. I wait to know that something's not working.
Well, I'm looking at the stream. Everything seems to be going okay.
Good, and I mean I hope the scoreboards are looking are in the right place. I don't know. But anyway, I forgot to say hello to everyone in the chat. So hello to everyone in the chat. Happy New Year, 2022. An exciting year for all the servers and tournaments. Wargaming hasn't announced anything yet on winter season. We're still waiting for any announcement at all, if any. I think they will come out pretty soon. last year was at the end of January, so we'll see what's going to happen this year. Both teams are now ready. We are just waiting until all 2 minutes of countdown are used, so there's still some time. Fugit, what do you think this would do this time?
I think they need to calm down. I don't think they need to bite off more than they can chew. You know, I think once they've got those pre-nerves out of the way, as we're going into the game now, if they get those pre-nerves out of the way and try to control the map rather than try to take the win immediately, I think they can give tournament a bit of a harder time.
Yep. Yeah, I think they just have to calm their nerves, think about the general picture. That's what I want to call it. Sometimes when you see an isolated tank, it's good that you want to be decisive about it, but you do have to prepare for the ramifications. But ooh.
Absolutely, but as we say, you know, most of the people in the YouTube chat or watching are sort of, they know all about the esports side. But obviously, what you're seeing, you know, we have to keep reminding people, we're seeing all the teams, every player on the map. The teams themselves are not seeing this. So when they pushed into that Vickers in the last game, they wouldn't have known that there was going to be a big rotation from tournaments.
Sure, indeed. That sometimes you have to take into account whether you want to send quite a lot of tanks to take out that tank, or maybe hold off a little bit. I don't know, but going back into this game, we could see the usual camp steer going on here. Both teams are really looking at all 3 caps. Already taking a big hit already, which is not a good start for this by any means.
It's not, but again, I mean, this at the moment, they're a lot more cooler, a lot more collective. They're not as eager to get in there at this stage. Remy is going to the traditional spotting position, but Neymar's already in the other side's traditional spotting position for the Vickers. So they're sort of they're toying with each other, and at the moment Neymar's just winning that battle.
Well, maybe not, because both. I mean, if both Vickers Light make any mistakes, they can be heavily punished. More so for Remy here. I think a little pressure will be around these 2 Vickers Light here. It's really about all the spotting here. Both teams can't really get into the caps at the moment because they are all well defended. But also the problem is, for example, this, you can say they're quite spread out. So if tournament knows this, they can push onto one side. They have to do it decisively though, and take out the tanks, while these tanks would take some time to rotate. So is tournament looking to do that rotation?
Well, I don't know, but one thing I'm interested in, one thing I'm looking at from my spectator's viewpoint here, is if Remy spots up Neymar, that AMX-50B will have shots onto Neymar. Now he won't, because he's now moving. But he would have.
Yeah,
it looks like tournaments are trying to make a little push onto the castle area towards the A cap here.
Yeah, they're very cautious about it, and I think this also knows that tournament are trying to fortify the A cap, so they're also sending more tanks there. So that means tournament can't push onto A now. Could be an opportunity wasted, could be not. Still, hit points are still in favor of tournament, so the advantage is still in favor of tournament. So.
It is. I'm just looking at the way tournaments are stacking their tanks here. I mean, Skeleton there at the back in Yo, where you normally see a TD. The 2 Yos on the hill, and then we've got a 60 TP and Ronaldo in the AMX, potentially looking to go onto that B cap. So this at the moment, they don't know this. They've actually got a tank advantage on the A cap, but they don't know that as of yet. And it may be. I mean, we've got the IS-7 there who's coming around for tournament just to give a bit of cover. But if that 60 TP of Ronaldinho pushes any further, that may give Dis the opportunity to push onto those Yos and that A cap.
Yeah, but still, it's all in theory. It's all on paper. Nothing. It's taken into action at the moment. Still, both teams holding very diligently on all A, B, and C caps. We only just short of 3 minutes here when you look at the clock. If it continues the way it is, according to Wargaming, according to the game, this match will go to TRNMT. but we'll see if it's going to be the case.
Yeah, they'll probably whittle it down to the 2-minute mark before they start to make any moves. At the moment, this are not. They're. Oh, that was a good shot from Skilled Skeleton to the 50B. I think that was a blind shot into that 50B.
Well, I didn't catch that, but that was a good shot. I mean, both teams will be looking to try to get a bit more advantage so that they could elicit a push at the later stages. Both teams have done quite well in conserving hit points. D1S not quite so, but still, they're still within a reasonable amount of hit points. And Rami took more hits, so TRNMT definitely winning in terms of the hit points.
Well, this year are looking to make a move. They brought their 50Bs up onto the castle area. They're sending the 60 TP around. It looks like an ACAP move.
Yep. But both teams still hustling a bit, if that's the right word. But looking at Zlatan going a bit aggressive here. Has to be careful because Master can put a great shot into Zlatan. Oh, I missed though. And
they're running out of time. They are running out of time. They need to make a move. It's all or nothing, unfortunately, for them.
Yep.
You can see Tournament are baiting them, trying to bait them into that ACAP now. They're bringing back those Yos. They've got the 60 TP, the IS-7, and the other Yo skilled to Kellington just overlooking, ready for anything coming down into that ACAP.
Oh, first shot from D1S onto TRNMT with damage. But still, won't change matters much. Tournament still has the advantage. With just only around a minute left to go. And both teams haven't got a cap yet. This is typical Caps DFS. And if it continues this way, Tournament will win this one because they have more hit points. And if they could get C, they will also have more cap points as well. So only around 40 seconds. Yes, there we go.
Moving into A. Oh, the 50B getting trummeled there. He's going to get wrecked. Down he goes. And it will definitely, if it ends now, it definitely goes to Tournament. They have the points.
There, yes, and also killed by fire as well. Unless D1S is able to kill Zlatan, that could even things. But Tournament would want to have Zlatan stay alive as long as they could.
Yeah, they've just thrown their tanks in to protect Zlatan there, and with 6 seconds left to go and 2 tanks down for this is going to Tournament.
Yeah, all 7 minutes used, and Tournament has more hit points and more cap points, and therefore they won. Good job. They also killed Albanian before Zlatan was killed, so I think that push from this could come across as a little bit half-hearted, I don't know, but it wasn't really a good idea to have that 50B rushing first, because you know that the armor in that tank is...
I think that was more desperation than anything else. Time was running out. There was a bit of frustration. Tournament had put themselves in a good position to oversee that ACAP. This was a completely different game to what we saw last time. The first game out was a little bit more aggressive. They came out. They wanted to push. They took the caps very convincingly. This game, I think they just held back a lot. In Tournament, we're more than happy to do that.
Yep. Just to say apology to everyone. I mean, the stream was quite laggy. I mean, I can see my frames aren't really are screaming for help. So really bear with me with the 9 FPS gaming. I'm sorry, but I think this is going to be the first time we are seeing Concept 1B.
Oh,
yeah, from D1S, and that could be very interesting.
Well, it is Normandy, and I did expect to see it on Normandy, to be honest with you. I've seen clans take it on Castilla and Rockfield, but I've seen a lot of clans take them out on Normandy in the training that's been ongoing. So I was hoping that one of them would.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everybody's got the Concept 1B. I know quite a few players in Vale haven't got the Concept 1B. Not everybody's got it, so.
Yeah,
it reminds me of the days when not everybody had a T22 when they were.
Yeah, I haven't got the Concept 1B yet. I haven't been lucky, but we're still waiting because the mandatory 2-minute countdown is still happening. and we're going into Normandy. I could see another passive game as well. I mean, Normandy, it's a full cap map. If you get a cap, you'll get three cap points increase per 2 seconds, because there are 7 minutes in the game. If both teams only have one cap, the cap points won't go to 1,000 before all 7 minutes are used up. So there is still a chance that it could go in a way just like the last match. But we will see about this one. It could be a totally different game.
But this is match point, is it not, for tournament?
Yes, this is a match point for tournament. So definitely this is feeling the pressure. So I'm not sure if this will inspire them to play more aggressively, or will that inspire them to be a lot more cautious. But we'll find out soon.
Well, I mean, just a bit of background while the teams are jostling for their position. Tournament have been training. I trained against them the other day in Vale. They have been taking their training very seriously, and it does seem to be paying off for them. They seem to be very coordinated. They seem to have some good strats in play. Interesting to see how they play this one.
Ooh, I mean, looking at this pretty interesting setup here. Tournament trying to go with the spot with Ronaldinho, but D1S. Oh, we might see a push coming in to say his skeleton. Maybe in deep trouble there. I think they're just swarming into skeleton at this point. But great shots into Shin Yu though.
Yeah, but skilled skeleton, he's sacrificial lamb there. He is going to go down. But the thing now, D1S have got to be mindful of that they are contained in an area, and they don't have the best positions. Unlike tournament, tournaments have better positioning for protection of those bottom plates.
Yep, I mean, we are now seeing TRNMT making a counter push to try and pincer D1S here. Pretty much, D1S is surrounded, and they're trying to get Mr. of Death out of the way, and Shinyu too. Oh, the focus fire from tournament though. They really need to get that target though.
Yeah, they've got 2 one-shots, DIS, and tournament need to take them down, but they haven't, and they've got another tank and another tank. They finally took the 2 out, but the deficit is against tournament. Disc can turn this around. The 60 TP of Musek needs to stay safe, however. Noral is going to push on him in that yo.
Ooh, and Ronaldo is now dead, and Noral is trying to take up Muciak out of the way. It is going to be the case, but it's now 4 vs 3. D1S, Master still quite low. Lewandowski is looking for shots. Great kill onto Master.
But I think D1S has got this. I mean, the Kranwagen, the best DM tank, and the Vickers, as we know, it's a great tank, but there's a lot of HP out there for that poor Vickers to get through.
Yep. And with Lewandowski now down to 1 shot, D1S will get that tank out of the way, leaving Neymar the last person standing in that Vickers light. But D1S also has more cap points as well, so I doubt Neymar could pull it off this time.
And this is where the concept 1B with its mobility and its quick reload will really come into play here. Played by Albanian. He's going to, get a nice ram in and finished off.
Yep.
Great comeback from D1S.
Yeah, I was a bit worried, that push from D1S, because, I mean, we saw tournament really wrapping around, pincering D1S at every corner. But the problem is for tournament here, their focus fire fell off at the middle of the match, and I think that really costed the game here. At one point, when D1S was pushing, both clans here have pretty similar hit points. But when tournament, they couldn't kill off the one shots. That really swang the advantage to us.
Don't disagree with you. Failing to take out those 2 one-shots eventually led to them losing 3 tanks tournament, and it's pretty hard work to get back from that. So well done D1S. I mean, tournament's focus fire, as you said, wasn't exactly brilliant in that middle quarter there, but fair play to D1S. They were protecting those low hit point tanks. They were good mobility. They were contained, but they managed to turn it around. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was also a lot more composed performance by D1S. They kept their coup, they focused fire a lot better than tournament here, and I believe if you're under a disadvantage, just keep your coup, get your focus fire right, you might be able to turn things around, and this match definitely proved to be the case.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what Newbie has to say about these games when he comes in.
Yeah. Oh, we're still waiting for that.
He sees it from a different perspective.
Yes.
But again, we got the concept 1B making a showing again, and why not? It worked last game. It's going to work. Will it work a second game? But they haven't got. They've gone very heavy. The only mobility they've got realistically is the concept. Everything else is just heavy.
Yep. But also the biggest like from tournament can be very important here. We saw Neymar running around in the map, really getting the information for tournament. They really need to make use of that map here, because that can be very important to your positioning while you're trying to defend against a potential 7 heavy push, just like last match.
Absolutely. I am surprised that tournament are sticking with their Kranwagen. I haven't seen many Kranwagens since it had its nerf, because you can sort of play the Yo in a similar position, what with its 3-clip fast reload.
I mean, I also now struggle to do a lot of damage in Kranwagen nowadays, and the M60 is simply better because of the mobility, and also the turret armor is much worse than the Kranwagen. So obviously I would have, I would be using the M60 all day long, and also M60 has better DPM than Kranwagen, and there is that too. Absolutely,
and this is the thing. I mean, you know, the teams still take the Kranwagen out on occasion, but it's just not the same beast that it was.
Nope. It wasn't, and both teams have now got 1 cap. D cap is not being taken at the moment because both teams are really putting most of their guns to overlook that. This is going to be the danger zone. No one wants to tread past that. No one wants to step into this. I think it's called ground zero, if it's the correct term.
Yeah, it is, and I'm hoping that Ronaldo done that to bait them on. But Noral and Skilled Skeleton has now been spotted as well, so the bait won't work. The DIS would be silly to push onto D knowing that the tanks of tournament are stacked there, and they're just prepared to hold. They have got the cap point advantage.
Ooh,
for the time being.
sneaky cap from Lewandowski. It's spotted, but Sumik spotted up Lewandowski. Lewandowski, pretty cautious here at the moment, will be pulling out. Yeah. And might be trying to flirt with capturing B again, but we will see. But still 5 minutes remaining to go. 3 cap points of increase.
Very aggressive there. Very far forward. Gets spotted. Albanian and the concept is behind him. But they've got to be careful because tournament in those heavies can counter push very quick. And it's a very congested area around that road area on that decap.
Big shot into Ronaldo from Albanian here. That was a good shot. And hit points are in favor. Oh, but Albanian receives one back, but still. Oh, twice.
No, he gets twice, yes.
Oh, that was careless. Oh, she knew as well. Oh, no.
And this is the thing. I mean, if you know, they got very far forward, and they should have known that there were tanks there. Noral was spotted, and so was Skilled Skeleton. So they knew that there were tanks there, and tournament were just waiting. And now Ronaldo is coming up to bait them even further at the D cap. A cap is now A cap. They can't do anything on the B cap.
Yeah, now Ronaldo is trying to get D. And if it continues this way, tournament, what happened? Will get the cap lead soon.
But I think this here, it was about who blinks first, and I think they're desperately trying to blink. Tournaments are not biting at this moment in time.
No, they are a lot more composed than D1S here. We can see. I mean, they're not flustered at all when they took. Ronaldo took a hit. They positioned well to put shots into both Albanian and Shinyu. So at the moment, it will be very hard for this to make a push here. Tournament are all stacked up right here. If they want to push over to D cap, it could be quite costly.
But this is the thing, you see, tournament now don't need to do anything but wait for this to push. And they can only push in two directions, the B cap or the D cap. Both those caps are covered at this moment in time by tournament. Tournament at the moment have got control of the map.
Yep, I agree with you there. If Des wants to win this, one, I mean they can push. They can definitely push, but they must focus fire well. They must be very decisive with that push because tournament they have the map control and they're
going for B.
Yeah,
they're going for B.
Yep. And we will follow Lewandowski for a moment here. This taking some time to do a rotation. Tournament can very well make a counter move from this.
And it looks like they may be, because Lewandowski is going to move out of there. Let them take the B cap round. Cap trying to isolate the concept in the IS-7 here.
And this could be very important for these two clans here. This coming around from the back, and Tournament trying to get Shinyu out of the way. And hit points are now in favor of this. Great shot into Shinyu, and they're looking for Albania next, but Lewandowski is also there. It's going to be whether it's more efficient with their shots.
Totally, and you can see there Ronaldinho chasing down Albania. She rolled in and he...
Ronaldo now dead, but Albania is still alive. Ronaldinho could be the next tank down for Tournament, but they're looking to get Master out of the way. And Zlatan is almost fully reloaded, but I think this might be looking for someone else. Oh, big shots! Oh, into Zlatan.
But Zlatan now on his very long reload, very exposed. 1 HE round and he's gone. Same as Ronaldinho.
At the same time, Tournament, they still have the caps, but they lost the tank Ronaldinho. They lost another tank. Can they win it by points? And this can be very important. They need to stay alive. They still have a chance, but they must ensure they have tanks alive. It's now 3 for this 3. It's close. It's really close.
It is. Oh, Noral there getting tagged right at the back. Oh. Down he goes. This is closer than Tournament would expect or like.
Yeah. And Neymar trying to get B. Could be a good move. Could be costly because that meant Skill Skeleton will be isolated, but will Sumik be killed under the hands of Neymar? We'll find out soon.
He has got a B cap.
Skill Skeleton now. Stay alive.
Oh, another bounce.
Oh.
It's all over for Tournament. There we go.
There we go.
Great stuff. Unlucky disc. They were so close. Those two bounces there on the IS-7 at the end must have been, that's traumatic. I mean, the IS-7 bounces and bounces and bounces. It is trolling.
Wow, it was really edge of the seat stuff. I mean, this was gradually coming out on top with the caps.
Well, they were on top. Look at the damage they dealt out.
The hit points. Sorry. Yeah, the hit points.
They had more hit points, more tanks. They did more damage, and they were just outcapped.
Yeah, they were really outcapped, and Tournament really getting the D cap here. That really secure. I mean, something for them. I mean, they were very shaky in the air. They were desperately holding on to the tanks they have on the battlefield. They tried their best to get the focus fire right. And I think the Vickers Light is a really important tank here. Running around, trying to get B cap in the end, trying to force this to run around. And I mean, what Neymar is trying to do is try to buy time for Tournament. And the caps.
Well, let's find out what Noob has to say, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also back, and I hope my screen is already visible here to you guys.
Not yet. I have to do some stuff very soon. So the scoreboard at the moment is 3-1 for Tournament, so that means Tournament has qualified to the finals, and they would know very soon which clan they're going to meet, either Reti or W-2-B. Apologies.
The next games are going to start in about 15 minutes. until then, I will give my best to analyze a bit of those games that we have seen here.
Right, let me just go to the live. Let me just go to the live and just get my full screen. And
the next games are going to start.
Good. All right.
In about 15 minutes.
I have recorded
until
on my
then,
own.
I will give my best to
analyze switch
a bit of
on the second game and third one, but never mind. I will have footage for that from the main.
I want me to mute
no,
or the stream.
No. My stream is without sound.
Okay, right.
So that's just fun.
Right. So let me just do this trick. Come on, change screens. It's super slow today for some odd reason, but I think everything should be fine and you are good to go.
All right. Yeah, first game here was some really dominant performance by D1S by going into the B and the C cap immediately and already putting them at a huge advantage over tournamenters. And tournamenters were far from being in position to react to that. They tried to still shoot out the Vickers a bit, but they ended up at this double cap disadvantage. Yet I think on this game, D1S still managed to mess up a bit. Here we have seen Vickers from tournamenters being in this kind of bait position. I am not quite sure whether he was trying to bait or just spot. Tournamenters were a bit slow on the rotation back here, as you can see. The i7 AMX were trying to pre-aim the C-cap. They do have perfect shots over there, and this M6 here would be responsible for the spotting mainly because this Vickers can't really get in the spots from behind the house here. And he was soon getting pushed onto by D1S. Yet D1S not really being in position to kill this Vickers quickly enough for a quick win of this game. As you can see here, let's skip forward a bit because we don't need to see the whole game again. The Vickers managed to stay alive. Tournament went for a really well executed counter push, and meanwhile D1S was too splitted to be ready for that. As we can see here on the mini map, there are 3 tanks from D1S on the B cap still, while there are only 2 tanks from the tournamenters in the middle area. That means there is a big tank advantage. Relatively small, only 1 tank, but it's still enough to quickly kill the C area here for tournamenters. And they managed to do so in this exact way. And D1S, by that, managed to fail this game, although they had the double cap. And they had the option for a really strong push onto the Vickers, taking out this guy without really suffering too much for that. Yet they were too splitted for the reaction of tournamenters after all. Okay, let's jump out of this right into the next game. Maybe I should just turn off my camera as it's with delay anyways. And for the second game, unfortunately, I have to switch over to Jack's stream here. But okay. Let's quickly find the second game. Okay, here we are. The second game was this long stalemate and stare off of tournamenters and D1S here. It was about the Vickers not losing too many hit points. Possibly later on, Remy here from D1S could have been pushed onto by the enemy Vickers, who was also doing a really good job later on still. But yeah, it was not really going anywhere. The typical camp steer game that did not really have any advantage anywhere. But as we could see over the time, it was mainly about the A cap and defending or pushing that one. Yet none of the teams really tried to commit to a push too soon because they did not have the information on this map. Particularly, it is very hard to collect the info if there are campers in the back like the M6 or still skeleton here, having great sight onto the A cap here. And D1S, if they pushed in, they could have possibly had the chance. I was having that in mind all the time. Like, they could maybe take out these M6 if they just all push down on the A cap and tried to shoot the M60s, maybe also had some tanks coming from above. That's exactly what D1S did later on, but they sent in their 50Bs first, which was a huge mistake, I guess, because these 50Bs could not afford to take that many shots, and one of them died fairly quickly also. These M60s also doing a really nice job of falling back right on time, getting into the river, and also meanwhile, on the other side, there was also I think it was the C cap being taken later on. I'll just skip forward here because we really don't need to see the stare-off here. It was just a really long time of not much happening. Let's get towards the end of the game. These M60s here being in great position to just fall back right into the river to be safe and make it really hard for D1S to push onto them, take them out. We could now see the push here. The first one was the AMX 50B expecting to get shots into these Yos quite early. It should have maybe been, or it should have been the IS-7s, both of them, just pushing forward. It could have also been an option for the IS-7s to just get into the A-cap a little bit sooner, as they were still covered by the other tanks. They could possibly be able to take out A or take A while pressuring these M60s down into the river out of the fight, if not killing them. But at this point already, D1S Vickers had to run away on the other side, and the Vickers of Tournament just managed to cap the C cap instantly. And that was really great move to get C here, so that D1S did not have any chance anymore to turn this around on caps also. It is a bit hard to see right now, but it was only 1 minute on the clock when the D1S team actually decided to push in here. So a bit late for that, maybe. Okay, Normandy. We have 2 more games to analyze, and I have like just about 5 to 6 minutes. That should be fine, I guess. Should be just fine. This game, it was, when was it the push already? Let me quickly see what was going on here. First of all, good map control here by Tournament's team. They decided to get C and A. Although having a tank on A means it is out of the fight for a really long time. And D1S, it was a push game. They immediately decided to go for the C push. Although not having a lot of information, Tournament, they were in really strong positions to hold this up. We've seen an M60 in the corner here that is basically impossible to reach if you are not committing 2 to 3 tanks to killing that one, and they will have to show their back to this to the rest of the enemies for a really long time. So D1S move here was really a brave move by pushing in immediately. The plane push, especially from this spawn, works quite well, and you do actually have shots onto the C cap if you are moving into the center here. Shinyu maybe a bit overcommitting here, losing a ton of hit points, not really for a reason, possibly even blocking his teammates from shooting Skilled Skeleton here. I think that was a little bit of a misplay. He did not have to go in. It would have been possible for him to also just stay with the others in the plane area, shoot out Skilled Skeleton without losing a lot of hit points. But after all, it was still fine, as we could see here. The IS-7 got killed quite easily, but it resulted in D1S having a really awkward position here. That's also what Fugit and Wild Ones managed to see on the stream here, that the D1S positions were really, not the best ones to turn around the game, because we are seeing still, or not seeing right now, there is the M60 in the corner having cross shots into the D1S team. This M60 being in a position that is well covered by the others from over there. Also, this M60 could possibly just run a little bit further away and make D1S waste a lot of time to get him there. And they were in a tournament as well at a gun disadvantage, but they had so many tanks ready to shoot into D1S. They could possibly also take the plane and just get all around D1S. And you can also see that on the mini-map actually. The map control of D1S is relatively small compared to that of the tournament's team. Yet D1S managed to go for a push right into the middle, right into the crossfire of everyone. and win the game by this move there. It was actually surprising to see D1S still turning this run around and winning the encounter here with this push into the middle area of the map. Okay, one more game we had, and that was the last tournament, the last Normandy game. I can show that on my stream with a different perspective again. Okay, well, the games before I accidentally had switched to the chatting perspective. This one, it was a bit more passive, and D1S managed to get the C cap immediately, D cap uncontested, A cap taken immediately, and it was actually D1S overcommitting like a little bit here, in my opinion. They had 2 tanks that were offering kind of a weak spot. I hope we are about to see that here. Yes, we are. Shinryu here being very aggressive. He cannot get out of there. If we would have seen a push from Tournamenters going for this IS-7, they could possibly just kill him. But we could see later on that Tournamenters had a far better option here by just getting into D. Also, again, good map control here by Tournamenters. They were all around the place and had a lot of crossfire, but now they were just able to take the D cap and wait it out a bit. And it was a really good move yet. Was it them winning the game even? Let's skip forward a bit. D cap has been taken. D1S pushing onto the Kranwagen there, which was probably the best option, as the Kranwagen was kind of isolated, although not being the most dangerous tank with a lack of DPM. Having the clip though, but yeah, D1S going for a good push here, and Tournament is not hesitating though, immediately counter pushing in the C area, doing a really nice job here of this counter rotation. And meanwhile, there's still one Vickers Light far in the back, but this Vickers Light is soon about to win the game here for the Tournamenters. A lot of points on the clock already for Tournamenters, and Tournamenters are actually losing on the hit points, because they also have, as you can see right now here, there are a lot of D1S tanks over here. The 60 TP Master 836 was getting stuck on the rock while trying to move back into the plane area. Still, it was enough for him to survive long enough for his teammates to move up. But Tournamenters, the Vickers now arrived, and they were not in the best positions. They were definitely losing out on the trades at this point. But the cap points were really a huge issue here for D1S, as they did not take care of them soon enough. And the Vickers here just not getting into the fight. I was still thinking at this point he could have maybe just decided to YOLO this IS-7, make sure that he puts in his shot and not end up in a 1v3 situation. But the cap points are already so far on his side that he was able to just comfortably win the game like this. Okay, I think that's already it from my side here, and we are about to jump right into the next battle.
Right, so let me just get everybody back. It has been quite a laggy night tonight, so let me see. Am I kicked out of the room? I have to find a room again. Just wait for me. Right. There we go. Where are you? I can't find a room.
It is there. It is there. I'm in it.
I'm not in it.
No, you're not. Nor's new.
My game is really laggy. It looks like it's about to crash. Let me do it again. There we go. We got it.
Oh, there you are.
Right, so I'm just going to...
Where's Noob?
Same password? Yes, okay.
And it's going to be Retty versus W-2-B. W-2-B is a relatively new clan, or may I say, a relatively new clan to the tournament scene. So interesting to see what they're going to do, what they have to offer. But Retty is a lot more experienced, so on paper we will be expecting Retty to do really well. but we will find out soon. We're back onto Camsteer. We're going to be seeing similar style of gameplay as we saw in the second match of Camsteer last time. We'll find out soon.
We are. I'm interested to see Retty here bringing out the concept on this map and the grill.
Oh, grill! It's very intriguing indeed. And in a very interesting position too. I think they're trying to overlook at that bush here, trying to shoot waves, trying to cross quickly at the start.
But I think poor old Gerino's going to go down here.
Oh yeah.
Don't think he's going to survive this.
No, that was a very aggressive move from Retty, and I think W-2-B was caught off guard by that immediate ambush from Retty. Great start from Retty here.
It's always a danger on this map because the teams kind of know if you've got Vickers in, you're going to send it that way most of the time. And obviously Retty's strat on this map is to forget the A cap as such. Icky's the only one over there, and to concentrate onto the C and the B cap area, and they managed to catch the Vickers at the same time. So fair play to them.
Yeah, but at the same time, because you're in the Vickers, like, you have to be always prepared to run away as soon as you could, because you definitely can't battle against like 5 tanks on your own. You definitely have to conserve your hit points in this way. But will W-2-B take Icky out of the match, or will Retty come prepared?
Well, the thing here is that Icky is pretty sacrificial, but he's doing a fantastic job of keeping everybody spotted and allowing his big guns to try and get those shots into the side of the IS-7 and the 60 TP, and it's working. That's the thing.
Yeah, then a great shot into Shadow here, down to 1 shot, and I think W-2-B, their original mission to take Icky out, backfired.
That's always the danger. Now they've got that area, Icky is spotting all of these tanks. You've just seen an IS-7 go down. We've got Carjack, who's basically a 2-shot in that 60 TP. W-2-B have got to do something here. And Witcher getting absolutely pummeled as he crosses there. This is good positioning by Retty. Very good positioning.
Very good positioning. It is as if they know everything that W-2-B is doing. I mean, they got the entire push spotted of W-2-B. Retty put a lot of shells into that as well. It's really down to Retty finishing the game up and not allowing W-2-B to come back into the match. And we are for sure know that Retty won't allow that to happen.
True. I mean, the bear is near is very low. Down goes the hit points of Witcher. He's really, and so is the Diamond. It's in the favour of Retty here. Diamond is not going to survive over there. The object for Benny should be able to take him down, although he's not looking. It goes down to the IS-7 in the end. 3 against 7. It's not looking good for W-2-B. No. This is just Retty anticipating their strat and punishing them for it.
But at least in the chat we got a lot of fans for W-2-B, so that's really good to know. And hopefully W-2-B will know this and perform even better next one. Retty looking extremely dominant in this one. Oh, big shot into the Gorilla here. But
absolutely, it's not a 7-0. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing, yes. Yes. And it will end 1-0 to Retty, but W-2-B, I hope someone will tell them they have a lot of fans in the chat. And I hope that will motivate them to do better in the next one. So far, Retty not looking too bad here.
Yeah, I don't think W-2-B need to be too decisive there. I mean, Retty just anticipated their strat, caught them off guard, and then punished them. W-2-B really didn't have much to do.
No.
To be honest with you, I mean, Retty had put their tanks in some very good positions.
Yep.
As I said, Icky doing that fantastic job, isolated up there. Tanks trying to push him, quite rightly, not knowing where the other tanks are because obviously they've now lost their spotter, and those 2 tanks getting pummeled. It was just very good map control by Retty. Just unfortunate that they anticipated and managed to identify the strat that W-2-B were using.
Yeah, I mean, Retty looks a lot more experienced than WTB. Obviously, Retty was a top 8 team in last year's spring season, so we know what they're capable of. At W2B, I think they're trying their best. They're trying to get everything into action, but really, I think they were unable to cope with the level of detail that Retty has put into their movement and so on. And whatever move that W2B was doing, Retty simply knew what was going on, and they reacted to it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, WTB, it's not like they haven't got fantastic players and experienced players, because they have. It's just a new team and they're still finding their feet, which is always one of the dangers of a new team. Well, we're going to go back out and cast this, see what the next one is.
Right, hopefully. It's, I don't know. I don't think it's my, I don't know if it's my internet, hopefully. I think could be some applications I might need to close. But yes. We're now into the second match. Campsteer, Retty versus W2B.
Retty not changing their lineup other than dropping that grill.
And on to 140.
Bringing in a Vickers instead.
And I mean, there is also an extra IS7, I suppose, this time.
Yes.
Yeah. W2B, let's see what they are going to do this time. They are now on the north side, and Retty from the south side, and we're stuck with this 60 TP for a moment, and we're back.
Shadow making the pro gamer move, and it's worked off. I mean, to get to, if you can get that, and you see a lot of the pros pull that move out to get into that position, to be able to get those crossfires if anybody tries to go to the C cap. And that was a good move by Shadow.
Yeah. I mean, the gorilla that was taken last match by the Retty was supposed to be countering what Shadow was doing, but it seems Retty has made an immediate move to shut down Shadow here.
And they're also pushing straight through with those IS7s and the concept.
Yep.
W2B should be looking to punish those, but their Yos are on their reloads.
Very true indeed, and I think they'll be looking for Forever Green next, because he is quite out in the open, and the M60s are almost fully reloaded and looking to get that tank, but it's a bounce from Ragnar.
Oh, Sonics is probably looking like to go down here. I don't think he's good. Concept should get him.
Yep, before Sonics is able to put a shot into the bears near. In terms of tanks, it's a little bit even. 6 versus 5, hit points actually quite even, contrary to what we believe. So there is some chance. The Bears near is now dead. It's all about focus fire right now. Who has the better focus fire?
Oof. And they go a tank up to Retty, but those 60 TPs over there of W2B, they're very healthy still. Yep. And they can certainly churn out a lot of damage with that. That's a great shot in by Jabated.
Yep. Yeah, that's good pincer movement for Retty, and they're now trying to get Carjack out of the way. And great shot from Icky, but a Addy bounce. Oh, big bounce from Carjack onto Icky. That can be quite costly.
That will be costly, because now they're going to focus Carjack in.
Yeah.
And Diamond was not able to load in time to protect. Witcher has to back away.
Yeah.
Icky surviving that there could have gone either way. But
yeah,
for that bounce.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but also, I mean, I didn't say it before, but that was some good shielding from Jabated as well onto Icky. Otherwise, Witcher would have also put a shot into Icky and killed Icky off. So 4 versus 3, hit was now in favor of Retty, and they also have the guns, so really the advantage is with Retty.
But Jorino here. Oh, wow, taken out. I was about to say, but great move by Jabated to anticipate that.
Yeah, and also great reaction. I mean, yeah, definitely anticipated that to happen. But the Diamond is probably going to be next tank down, by the looks of it. The Adi and Favor looking to get the tank out of the way. And it will be the case.
And Icky isn't going to move, and Witcher getting lots of modules damaged there, and down he
It's not
goes.
shown. It's not shown from my perspective for some reason.
To be
But,
honest, much better game by W-2-B.
Yeah.
Just unfortunate. I mean, that was the IS-7 is trolley armor at the moment. That was a huge bounce on Icky. Had that shot would have gone in, it could have been slightly different, because then that concept there of debated would have been isolated.
Yes. But also at the same time, Red T is a lot more efficient with their shots, and W2B also had quite a few bounces, and their focus fire wasn't as good as Red T, and that is why Red T won. I think both of them did some really good positioning, but at the end of the end of the day, it's really down to the focus fire and also your shot and also their shots.
Yeah, and I say this a lot of the time when we do the commentary. Penning shots at this level, it makes a huge difference. When you're playing in random games and normal public games, you can afford to miss and not pen the occasional one or two. When you're into the esports tournament side, it becomes game changing when you don't pen, when you bounce, when you miss. It does change the game, because these guys know how to pen.
Definitely. And we now see Red T taking another concept 1B here, bringing it to 2 potentially. And potentially we're seeing no Vicars light, no mediums or lights in an open map. That is astounding, to say the least.
Yes and no. It depends what their strategy. He has decent. So they could be using that, especially with its capability. It's got pretty decent gun depression as well. So they could be using that in that heavy, medium type role.
Ridge.
As a ridge liner. Maybe overlooking the B cap, maybe looking over that ridge on the B cap by the windmill, or maybe going straight over into where the crash plane is. We'll find out soon.
And quadruple 60 piece will be taken from Retty's side, and we'll see what's going to happen here. I mean, there is a lot of reaction on the chat going on at the moment, but we're rooting for the underdogs, obviously. Hopefully W2B will show their true colors in this one. Looking at this, Retty looking to be aggressive over to the middle side, while W2B also going somewhere similar. We will see what's going to happen.
And they are going to ridgeline the concepts. Tox Benny and the IS-7 very far forward to reset the C cap. Good move, that.
Yes, that was a great shot into the diamond as well. Still, Retty will not get a cap lead. Oh, big shot into the diamond to try and decap C. I think it could work. The diamond is now in deep trouble and could be killed in no time.
Yeah, Retty weren't even looking to D. They were looking to push heavily, quickly there, knowing that they caught those tanks in a crossfire, what with Tox Benny. And now the concept, both the concepts and the 60 TB are going to push down onto the 2 IS-7s of Shadow and Girino.
True indeed. Bit doubtful why W2B was quite slow in the reaction. Like, there are tanks at the back. They really didn't help the tanks near C at all in terms of trying to shield them.
Well, this is what I'm saying about it's a new team. They still, and when you've been in teams a bit longer, then obviously you get the reactions a lot quicker. Here, Retty are just punishing them for being, their focus fire is better, their coordination is better, their movement around the back, around the map is better. But that's more inexperience as a team than anything else, I think.
True. I mean, also Retty was pretty much in a single horizontal straight line, whereas W2B was kind of stratified. And as I say all the time, when you have a stratified lineup, it makes it a bit easier for the enemy team to do the focus fire. And Retty, once again, with that focus fire, immaculate focus fire, they were able to take out the tanks one by one, and that leaves now the last person standing.
Well, you can see Retty's frame of mind there. I mean, they got dominant position straight out? What were those concepts on the ridge line? The IS-7 very far forward. They could then see where the weakness was, and boom, it was. They just pushed it. Didn't even bother with the D cap. Just pushed straight onto that weakness on the C cap.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of a risk taken by Reti, knowing that they aren't going to get any caps at all as kind of an insurance for them. But
well, I think they were
paid
hoping
off.
that. I think they were hoping that W-2-B were going to react to their push, and they were just a little bit slower to react than Reti anticipated, allowing Reti to push even quicker than you thought. But congratulations to Reti. Commiserations to W-2-B. They played well. That's I hope to see them coming back again.
Winter season, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they just have to keep on training, get a bit more experience with trainings and so on. The reaction, I think, the team reaction, they need to work on that, and also focus fire, and also getting shots, getting efficient shots. But otherwise, I think they could be a good team to work with, and hope they will keep on improving to the run up until the run up of the winter season. And now with Reti winning 3-0, it's going to be Reti versus Tournament in the grand final, and we will find out which team will qualify to the stage 1 group stage.
Yeah, also
Again, interested to find out what Newbies has got to say on all of this.
thanks. I also expect like W2B, they were definitely showing some good stuff here, lacking in a few areas here and there, but they were not, although it might have looked like a steam mode by Reti, it was nothing like that. They were WTB was still holding up in a strong way, and Reti still just outperforming with their super aggressive moves here. And just checking, is my screen already on?
No, not yet. I'm going to do that soon. Just get it to life. I'm not sure if actually your stream is decreasing the quality. I'll try it in the next match. I will close the stream and I'll try to open that again after the finals. But we will see. I'm going to get ready.
Usually it should work to just set the quality to 1080 and it will switch immediately.
Right. No, I mean, I'll try close the stream in the finals and see if it's going to help the stream a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, because it was a bit it was screaming with skipped frames. So.
Okay. Good that I have my own camera here.
Yes. And here we go. I think you can.
All right.
You can go.
Yeah, first map also Camp Steer, but on this time it was nothing like that. It was a super aggressive move here by Reti to just send their IS-7 to the crossing, which is usually rather done from the other side. Was it even the IS-7 or was it? Yeah, I think it was the IS-7. Let me check that and skip forward a bit. The Vickers here getting shot out so heavily. At the start, I was watching the Vickers here, and I was already knowing, okay, there's a ton of tanks coming right into his face. The Grille on the Reti side was just waiting for the cross shots. If there was anyone doing the same move, like it was the 140 actually pushing into the enemy or towards the enemy ramp here, while the IS-7s were just pushing through C. Without even having a lot of information, they could know at this point that there was certainly no heavy here with the Vickers, and they just decided to go in here. Really nice move. Seen their opportunity immediately and did not hesitate to go for it at all. Yeah, the Vickers here already in huge trouble. Could not really get anywhere anymore. Tried his best to run away, but he was shot down quite soon already. Before he managed to escape. Reti then managed to just take some very comfortable positions. Also now is when the move from Iki comes into play here, which was a really nice job by him to take the outer side of the Abbey here, the Castilla, the hill, where he would be covered by all of his teammates from the other side, and it would be very hard for the WoTB team to push onto him. And they also, we got to mention, WoTB also had a cap disadvantage and hit point disadvantage at this point already, and a gun disadvantage. So it would have been really hard for them to turn this one around, especially concerning their map control, which is just A and a little bit of the surroundings, but not much more than that. So it was really not looking good here for WoTB, and they tried their best to shoot down Ike here, but they horribly failed because there was so much cover from the other side. Really nice teamwork here and well thought out positions here by Reddy, and soon Reddy had another gun advantage. Karjek was trapped in place behind the little church here, having a lot of tanks to pre-aim him, seen to try to get out. The B is near in the corner here, but he was covered by the Gritter 60 TP, 140 Concept 1B as well. And there was no way for these 3 WoTB tanks that already lost a ton of hit points to still try to push him. The Diamond effectively being out of the fight in the river here, not having nowhere to go anymore. And there was clearly no chance at this point for WoTB. It was a really awesome performance by Reddy here, and WoTB clearly not being able to answer to this one with the initial loss of their Vickers. I don't think any better team would have done better in this scenario with this perfect counter strat. Let's say it how it is by Reddy. Okay. So much about the first game. Let's skip forward to the next one. I think we do have a bit more time on for this actually. When does the next game start?
1:30.
Yeah, okay. We can watch all the games twice then.
Oh, right. So
we still have a lot of time then.
Yeah, we still got 20 minutes.
Yeah. So I don't have to hurry, but I do not want to waste too much time on this either. Next game, again, same map. Castilla again with WoTB spreading out, not sending their Vickers towards C this time, just taking some spotting position on A, which is also a really nice option for Vickers here. And he was not spotting up anyone as Reddy again went for a C-sided strat, which is not the most usual, I would say. We have seen C pushes quite frequently, like in a meta a long time ago. But nowadays it's actually quite rare. Although, of course, it happens quite a few times every now and then, but it is still quite rare. And I was really excited to see Reddy's move on this one. It was very interesting to see Forever Green push into C here. Although Shadow was already behind the houses here, he managed to cross over in the same way that Reddy did with their 140 in a previous game. And he was able to spot up all the heavies here, and a lot of bounces were coming in here onto Forever Green. And at this point, I've got to say, I was not aware of these guys here in the city area also pushing onto Shadow already. And it was looking like a suicide mission, like if IS-7 Forever Green was going on to a kamikaze mission here by pushing forward. But it was nothing like that. It was, again, well thought out, good push here. And although we could say that WoTB had a tremendous map control here, on the other hand, they were really split out and not able to help each other. Ragnar is still having a really solid position. It was really hard to push these 3 guys out of the fight, but Shadow is already down. WoTB already has a gun disadvantage, and it was still not a safe win here. We could see the hit points being very close, yet I don't know. WoTB, they had the gun disadvantage, yet they had slightly better positions in my opinion, because they had the corner with the high ground. They also had a B in the middle, or not exactly the B cap, but they had 2 very healthy 60 DPs here that were able to shoot into the rear of Reddy if they would be pushing forward into the corner. But the Vickers here, Jarino from WoTB, might have been a little bit too far from the fight. I'm not sure at this point. It kind of looks like it when seeing the minimap here that the Vickers would possibly deal some damage, yet not really being able to focus fire a lot. And I was worrying here, how would Reddy turn this now? They had a gun advantage. They could possibly just kill the 60 TPs. That's what I rather had in mind instead of pushing into the corner. But with WoTB also going quite aggressive at this point, it did make sense actually. WoTB managed to kill this IS-7, and by that they also gave up the high ground. They gave up the strong positions in the corner, and Reddy was able to run out of the middle area where they could have been shot from lots of different angles. And yeah, WoTB now being trapped in the middle the same way that Reddy has been before. There was also some very exciting 1v1 going on. We will get to that on my view here in a second. That's not really been what Fugit and Wild Ones had a look at while commentating from their perspective. And Jarino here was doing a really good job. In a second, he was putting in a big HE into Tox Benny here still. And by that, winning this 1v1 against the Reddy Vickers, yet Reddy already won the other flank in the same time, because they still had a gun advantage there. And after all, a gun advantage means a lot of DPM advantage. If it's like, I don't know the exact DPM of those tanks on the field, but if it's like 2.5k or more DPM, and then it, per tank, then it makes a huge difference if it is 3 guns or 4 guns on the field delivering this DPM into the fight. But yeah, very interesting move here by Reddy, and great push to go from the middle onto Shadow, who was trying to get in crossfire, yet by that just offering a huge weak spot for Reddy to push onto. And we have one more game to analyze here, which was Normandy again.
Right, before you continue, let me just double check a bit, because it seems if my stream has stopped working, and that I have to double check. It seems to be going fine, but yeah, it's not out. My live streaming, portal is it's not working. I hope. Let me reload that page again.
Well, I do see, like, if I watch live right now, I do see my own commentary on my own screen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that part's not. I think it's fine. I think the stream is going fine. It's just, yeah, the live streaming page. Oh, let me see if there are any comments saying it's not.
No comments mentioning anything, so it kind of seems fine.
It's fine. Okay, I'll just close the live streaming portal. Maybe that is the main reason. Can I mute my music? Okay, that's what you want.
Okay, it's kind of soaking up a lot of energy as well.
Right. All right. So I'm just going to set it up again, and let me get the. Yeah, let's just begin.
Are you ready? Or am I ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Then let's see the next game. Luckily, we do have a little bit more time in this break before the next game is about to start. But yeah, let's keep going here. It was Normandy this time with Reddy again, as mentioned. Already showing some very aggressive gameplay. I really like to see that Reddy was they were showing some confident gameplay so far, and really not hesitating here. Although Tox Benny here jumping straight into the plane area, that can sometimes backfire. In this case, it certainly didn't, especially from the spawn here. It is a really nice option to get into the plane area, because unlike on the other spawn, when you drop into the plane from this side, you do have the gun depression over here to shoot the C-cap. You also do have the gun depression over there to shoot into those guys that are potentially held down behind the B. Really strong positions on this one. Over there, there is not that much gun depression, or not such great positions for tanks without a lot of gun depression available. And at the moment, we are not seeing any tanks with tremendous gun depression in the current meta. Tox Benny here just putting in first shot into the I7, decapping once, and Reddy having collected the initial information, this initial spot here, they are just giving up the decap immediately, trying to push out the double IS7s here. Although they do have a lot of backup, it will be far easier to focus out one tank for the Reddy team, as they are having, like right now it is 4 tanks available to shoot the IS7s, while these 2 IS7s are completely alone. And if one of those Reddy tanks would get focus, they could just fall back into safety, leaving the others the way, making room for the others to push ahead. While WoTB still had the passive lineup here to hold up Reddy, it was not enough to stop them from just shooting the IS7s here. Especially with the big guns here and the tungsten shells from the 680Ps, it was really not taking a lot of time to kill the IS7s. I would also say 680Ps facing IS7s generally do have a slight advantage with their armor and big gun. That is also something to have in mind. I don't know, these 680Ps here from WoTB seem to just stay in the back and not really put out a lot of damage so far. Although they did not have the shots, they did not move in. The IS7s were alone for about a minute, both of them getting deleted before WoTB decided to get closer and decided to push back into the Reddy team. Something that could have actually also happened for these double IS7s here, or what they could have done, something I thought about later on. So they could have just counter pushed the I7 Tox Benny here in the middle area, and by that move they would have been able to run away from the 680Ps over there. They would not have gotten shot by them, and if the 680Ps decided to chase, they would have run into M60 and double 680P, and obviously the others had to move in as well. It would have been a 2v1 for a short time from WoTB onto Tox Benny here, who was quite alone for a really long time. And it could have possibly worked out to just go for this counter push. Yet this is also what kind of separates the good average from the better teams here. This kind of having a way of just thinking of having a way out of certain scenarios. It's just not hesitating for too long. Sometimes the caller does not immediately have a reaction, and then it is about every other player to also throw in ideas, manage to somehow get out of the precarious situation that they are in. And by that initial move here from Reddy, it was again a decisive win. They did not hesitate and immediately managed to take out double IS7s basically for free and won the game in no time here. I think that's it from my analysis part here.
Right.
The rest of the game was just shooting down the remaining tanks.
Alright, I mean, let me try to see if it's going to help for me, like, closing the stream. Just have to ensure on Discord I'm not on the channels that are constantly showing new messages. Well, let's see if it's going to improve for the finals. Because we serve around 10 minutes, we might have some time to do. Oh, that's just why I'm on a very busy channel. So let me just change into another channel, and I think that would be a bit better. Hopefully, it's going to get a bit better because it's still screaming a lot of warnings here, like every 2 minutes, so I can see why it's really not going well. Well, really huge apologies for the lag tonight. Hopefully the final is going to show up a bit better. Something to bear in mind in the winter season that I have to on Discord be in inactive channels so that it will not occupy a lot of the RAM and CPU, because it does when it's when new messages come up from time to time.
When occasionally streaming or seeing your stream, it does not seem all that bad, to be honest. Seems fine.
All right.
And I don't see like everyone raging about the stream quality, and I think that would definitely happen if some serious issues were about to happen here.
Right, that's at least good to know. So, no, this is not the maps. You're saying these are not the maps for the group stage. So we still have some time. So let's actually do the map draw for the stage 1 group stage.
Well, we've only got 8 minutes.
We have a lot of time. 8 minutes is a lot of time, so I just have to press one button and we're good to go. So are we all ready to review the maps for stage 1? Right, so that we get this ready. I'm just going to get the right numbers. And there we go. It should come up correctly now, hopefully. It's still, well, it's running for some time. For some reason it's still running. I know it has run a lot more quickly previously.
Will actually be quite interesting to see whether Reddy is able or will be able to keep up their pace that they have shown so far against tournamenters, and possibly even in the tournament, in the main tournament then.
Mm-hmm.
From what we've seen, tournamenters have to be afraid.
Right. We now have the maps for all 5 fixtures in stage 1. So let's review them one by one. We will do the map draw once again after the finals for the knockout stage and the last chance tournament. So here we are. Fixture 1. So what maps are we going to begin first? It will be Port Bay, Winter Minovka, and Oasis Palms. Fixture 2, we have Alpenstadt, Descents, and Rockfield. Fixture 3, we have Normandy, Neuve, and Middelburg. Fixture 4, we have Yukon, Campstier once again, and Canal. And finally, we have Fixture 5, Rockfield, My Ruins, and Faust. So only the map Rockfield is repeated in this set of maps. So 14 unique maps in this one, so will be very interesting. I think teams might be looking to train on Rockfield a bit more over the week. And here are all the maps for the stage 1. Hopefully someone's going to record that down. Maybe no. It will show up. It will show up on the stream, obviously. And it's a room up. I suppose it's up.
The room is up. Yes, you're still in it.
Oh, I'm still in it. Okay, good. So hopefully, I'll change the description as well. So
it's changed.
Now... Oh.
Yeah, so far we still have a couple of minutes before the games are about to start. And it is again going to be a best of 5 with Winter Malinovka first, Port Bay after, Naval Frontier then. This time we are seeing maps we have not seen before.
Yes, obviously. For the most obvious reasons. Yeah, I got the right side, apparently, so be ready to hop in at any moment. Both teams are trying to ready up. This map, I mean the set of maps you see here, I kind of generated using random.org as a joke, so glad it was put into use in the end. So yeah, what do you think about this matchup, Retty versus Tournament? Who do you think will have a better chance?
Fugit, maybe you.
Well, I mean, you can only judge it on the strength of what we've already seen, and both of these teams have shown that they can be aggressive. They can dominate the map and they can control the map. You would have to, I mean, if you're a betting person, you sort of say that Retty are probably just edging it, but never discount tournaments because they've showed us some really good gameplay, to be honest with you. And I don't think they're going to be the turnover that a lot of people are thinking they may be.
Yeah, I agree with you. That newbie to go.
The tournament is having shown some solid performance so far. Retty going super aggressive, but such aggressive moves might not always work out against teams that are playing a safe game. That's something that has to be kept in mind. If one team is doing a safe gameplay, the other trying to push into them, and it might really not work out. So
but
far,
also, sorry.
Retty has quite dominated the last games. It was a lot closer between tournamenters and D1S, but it might be interesting stuff for this encounter.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Retty hasn't shown their ultimate best just yet. We might see Retty being quite aggressive in the last fixture, but this is going to be a completely different story. Tournament came prepared. They train a lot, and they have more experience on paper than W-2-B. So I would say Retty, I think it could be a completely playstyle for the tournament. It will be a huge step up, considering Retty was previously a top 8 clan last year, so you never know.
Although Retty has been at a kind of a break, I mean, they did not manage to accept our invite, or they did not manage to get into the tournament immediately. That's why we are seeing them still at this point in the qualification stage. So they had their struggles, and they are maybe not trained too well, and maybe showing some inconsistencies that the others can make use of that.
But unlike the maps that we had in the first round, these 3 maps do allow for aggressive style of play, to be fair. Yeah. I mean, Winter Malinovka, you can be very aggressive with that. You've seen that. You know, depending on where you spawn, you can get those tanks, especially tanks like the IS-7 or even the Concept, or even even if you want to bring a medium or a light in, get them down, not to the A cap as such, but, you know, over the sort of ramp area and push towards the other spawn. Port Bay, well, everybody knows Port Bay. You can be super aggressive on Port Bay if you really want to be. Same goes for Naval Frontier, another map that you can be pretty aggressive on. You know, I've seen teams both in the Blitz Cup and in training push straight through that B cap to try and get around the back of the spawn. So interesting to see how Retty cope with this one, as they seem to like aggression.
And here we go. Winter Malinovka. Hopefully the lag is not going to be too bad after I've closed a few streams running in the background and also getting into the right Discord channels. Hopefully that's going to improve stuff. But we're seeing both teams taking double 60 TPs, but tournament going for more IS-7s than Retty. Retty being a bit more diverse with their setup. We'll see how Retty is going to cope with a more mobile setup.
And as I just said, Rhett is doing exactly the strat that I thought that they may take. I didn't think they would take double 50Ms, but look at their heavies pushing right into that ramp area, straight up towards the spawn of tournament. I did expect that. They're getting the B cap and the A cap, although the B cap has now been reset.
True, but Tox Spanny also, quite interestingly, going very aggressive, but it seems Reds are really not giving up their aggression. They continue to push, and Slarton could be the first tank down for tournament, and it will be the case.
Yeah, but also, I mean, Forever Green is this battle here against the 260 TPs. He has got better DPM, but I don't expect him to last that battle. Don't misunderstand, though. I mean, Reti has a lot of hit points. I mean, it is now a one-shot. Forever Green is a one-shot. Hit points are not in the favour of Reti.
Oh, ammo rack onto
It was an ammo
Icky.
rack. Although Icky was a one-shot anyway, he only had like 10 hit points left.
Ooh. Interestingly, Reti with that aggression didn't really give them a big advantage. As we see, the hit points are still quite close, and the guns are also quite close. So Forever Green's a one-shot, so tournament can absolutely turn this around if they could group up and get...
They can.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was about to say they can. I was just saying that before. I wasn't meant to interrupt.
Yeah, I mean, Toxpan is now down to one shot, and Reti really crowding onto Lewandowski, trying to take this tank out of the way. Aatrox getting Toxpan out here, but Ronaldo, big shot to favor, all about focus fire now for tournament and Reti.
It is, but looking at the tanks, okay, it is 2 against 3. But I mean, 12 Atox there really should have tried to chase down Favor and got him out of the game. The 250Bs, I mean, because Favor is now going to be fully reloaded, and he wasn't. That may prove to be a miscalculation, so to speak, because he could have taken Favor out and then turned his gun onto the ad-1 potentially and left their 60 TP. But in the heat of battle, these things happen. That was closer than tournament expected, I think.
I would say so as
I'm
well.
sorry, Reti expected.
Reti, yes. I think like Reti was very aggressive, and they think they could close the game off, expecting tournament to have no comeback whatsoever. But really, no. Tournament. I think they were equipped a little bit into dealing with these kind of situations, and that really gave Reti the scare. But I would say what Reti has persisted in this match is their focus fire, and I think tournament once again at some stages, their focus was a little bit off. Although it was not very bad, like it was, they still kept their focus fire at times, but Reti maintained their focus fire all the way until the end, and I think that pretty much got over the line for Reti.
Yeah, I think the only two things that went against tournament there was losing Zatlan very quickly, to be fair, and also failing to take out Forever quickly in the IS-7. He was left on that B cap far too long, and he was basically tying up 260 TPs for quite a long time. And you know, they'll probably be kicking themselves for that. They'll probably think we should have taken Forever Green out a lot sooner. And we probably should have looked at keeping Zatlan in the game a lot longer. But aside from that, like I said, I don't think Reti anticipated it to be that close.
No, it was close in the end. And now, tournament is going to take a T22 the first tonight, I think. I think it has fell out of favor in the last few months. And I think it's going to become an obsolete tank soon. And it's quite a big fall from grace, really, considering it hasn't been nerfed at all.
No, it hasn't. It's just that the meta has changed, and it's kind of made the T22 sort of redundant, really. And don't get me wrong, it's still got trolley armor, still got a pretty decent gun, but yeah, it is pretty much redundant now with this meta.
Yeah, with this meta, I think this meta kind of favors a bit more polarized kind of setup. You might have some really good, well-armored tanks, and then you suddenly have a kind of a lot less armor tank, like the 50B, or maybe let's say the Vicus Light. And I think this kind of stark contrast comparing to the previous years, where we kind of have a more balanced setup. I think that was kind of the reason why T22 kind of fell off favor.
Yeah, I mean, you can see with the way Reti's lineup just heavy. they've got the 250Bs, and any team that takes 250Bs is looking to get a lot of DPM down. The rest of their team is just incredibly heavy. That means that the T22 has got a lot of hard work. It's not the fastest tank in the game.
No.
As I said, it's got a decent gun. It's still got trolley armor, but it can get caught out with these heavies. And with the 60 TP having that consumable of tungsten, it can pierce that. It can pierce that armor.
Yeah, I agree. And it really depends on that T22 though. Wintermine Norfolk is quite a big map, so the T22 will take some time to traverse around the map, and Tournament must be very careful about their tanks being isolated here, and we could see potentially Ratty going for a push from the 50Bs, or maybe they have something else.
Well, Tox Benny here is looking to bait Tournament down, which will free up their heavies at the top. The 50Bs are going to probably just try and farm, try as much as possible to stay unspotted for as long as possible.
Yeah. There are some really good shots onto Ronaldinho here. Now down to 700 hit points around, or thereabouts. And Retti's trying to play the cap game this time, unlike their aggression in the last few matches. If they could get B, that could elicit a response from Tournament. They might want to take Tox Bandy because he's quite isolated. But we'll see.
And again, they're taking too long to take out tanks down there from Tournament. And Tox Benny has lasted far too long, to be honest.
But for some reason... Sorry, I was just about to say, he's just tying up a lot of tanks. There are tanks down there now. Mm-hmm.
That really has a big gap in Tournament's sort of defensive capabilities up top.
Yeah, but at the same time, also Retty was slower than I expected to say, but they still have a lot of hit points, so that wasn't a big problem at all. And you can see like the tanks up above were able to farm those tanks crossing all over to Way, and now Retty just has to do the defense game. Well,
Tox Benny has gone down, but now Retty can down with their heavies.
Yeah.
And the 50Bs and the Mouse, if they can hold that corner, they can farm those tanks.
Yeah, that was some really big lag over here. But I actually have to say it's some good hit point pool sharing from Tournament, but they have to make it count, because now they're going to lose Ronaldo. If they can't kill a tank on the other side, their hit point pool sharing would be futile.
Exactly. Again, Bled, they've taken out the Mouse of Forever Green. They have got two tanks out of the game for Retty, but Retty have got the base points, and Retty have got the HP at the moment.
Yeah. Tournament really looking quite hesitant in this one. And they lost Aatrox as well, and Retty will get 1,000 cap points, and they're going to have a match win now. Well done to Retty.
Yeah, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Tournament played a great strat. I just think they need to close down these isolated tanks a lot quicker.
Yeah. Really, I think the nerves are playing a role here. They were very hesitant whether to go for a tank or not. They have done a... Sorry.
But the thing is, I just want to, before you jump, just look at how much damage Tox Benny did.
Mm-hmm. Second most damage for Retty.
And he was
the first tank down, and on his own. 3 tanks to 2k for both teams, and Tox Benny doing the second most damage. It's spectacular, to say the least. And looking at the total damage as well was quite close. It really boils down to Retty also getting that B cap too. Mm-hmm. And that, not sure if that caused Tournament to go a bit more hesitant, or is it just, I don't know, even more nervous. But really, it was quite shaky for them.
Yeah, I think Retty were more concerned about to an extent. They got the C cap. They were uncontested on the B cap, There was no, they had Tox Benny holding up the tanks down below. They had the 50Bs waiting there. They had control. There was no need for them to rush or do anything.
No. Tournament is the team that is under pressure, that needs to make a move. And I think they're kind of being a bit slow. Actually favored Reti to kind of reposition the tanks not as quickly as we thought they would to be. We're now changing into Port Bay.
At the moment, Reti doesn't. Tournament don't. When we saw them against this, let's just say.
Yeah, they were. I would say Tournament looked a bit less astute as they were against this here. A lot more nervous. I mean, also Reti being a bit more experienced in this matchup. We'll see if Port Bay will tournament bring one back.
And Tox Benny this time in the Object 268, so another TD out on the field.
Yep.
And
not something you see often.
No, in tournament taking a 1-1-3. Not seen one of those in the meta.
But I would say it's more common than it is to say the least. We do see them in autumn season. To be fair.
Totally. I mean, the 1-1-3 is a totally underestimated. I mean, it's got a rock solid turret. The only thing is, it's very slow on that turn, and it's not exactly the best if it's out in the open. It's easily pennable, but it's got great DPM.
Yeah. While I was struggling to load, Reti already made a big move onto the tournament tanks in the corner. I think this is going to go into a big brawl fest.
This is, yeah. I mean, they're just focusing. Should do easiest by far penetrable armor at the hull. Now Noral is feeling the pain, but the 50Bs. This is where tournament needs to punish those 50Bs.
Yeah, and I mean,
big bounce on the 50B.
Oh no,
Debated,
on fire.
Yeah,
and not able to repair.
Should have gone out there.
Yeah, finally out. There is also a 1v1 of Neymar against Tox Benny. Will that help? We'll find out soon. But Diard is also dead. Neymar down to one shot.
Yeah, debated there. Very lucky getting away with the bounce. Had that not bounced, then it could have been a little bit different. There would have been different. Tournament would have had another gun on the bow, and it could have been different. But at the moment, tournament got the upper hand.
Oh yeah, actually they were able. Neymar was able to get Tox Benny out of the match in a 1v1. Maybe Nubita has a better view on that because I was focusing onto this corner right here. Beckham is going to be killed by Forever Green and Reti. There is some kind of an issue going right here. Tournament can turn this around if they could get the focus fire right.
Yeah, I mean Beckham there did a great job. He tied up. Turn it. Also, now it's all about Ronaldo sharing hit points with Zatlan. He's got to share those hit points.
Yes, and Forever Green, I think, might be looking to get a ram kill. Zlatan's moving back, trying to reduce the amount of momentum change. I mean, if you do physics, the lesser the amount of momentum change, the lesser the force, and hence the lesser the damage done from ramming.
Those are that's a big miss and two big bounces from Ronaldo there.
Yeah, looking at that, Reti closing down Ronaldo, Neymar the last person standing. That glimmer of hope that tournament had is now completely gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened there was that they needed to share their hit points when they're like that. They needed to share those hit points. They needed to keep both Yos on the battlefield. And unfortunately, the bounces on the IS-7, first shot missed, the two other shots bounced on the bottom plate. I don't know if he was hitting the bottom plate or not. No, not sure. But, this is where games change, and it changed. It changes so quickly.
Yes, and here we go. Tournament valiant effort right here. Red team winning 3-0. But I think tournament just lost the match at the final. Pretty much, they did a really good job in the middle, trying to make it really close. Like at one point, Red team was actually not having a good advantage, and tournament actually did better than W-2-B in my opinion, slightly in terms of reacting to the push, to a big push coming at the start, and hopefully they can continue to improve on that. And one team to watch potentially in the winter season.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think tournament were just showing a little bit more nerves than they did against this, which is unfortunate because they've certainly got to go far, and I just think the nerves crept in a little bit, and it's that's let them down a little bit here. We were seeing a few little, I wouldn't say mistakes, I would just say errors. They're not mistakes; they're errors because the nerves, realistically. But they didn't make it easy. It looked like it's a 3-0, but they didn't make it easy for Retty, to be honest.
I think also Retty struggled a lot more here. Was not as decisive as before. Especially the Winter Malinovka game. Yeah.
Right, so let me just type something. You can keep on talking while I'm asking you.
I'm waiting for you to switch the scene so I can get on with the analysis.
Not yet, because I don't have a double screen, so you can keep on talking.
Okay.
What to expect.
All right. Yeah, I felt like on Winter Malinovka also, Retty, they had this general idea at the start of a good push. And then it was super close in the end still, and tournament just had definitely they had their chance of winning this game, and the same happened on our last game that we have just seen. If there weren't too many bounces, there was really a big issue there. I could see on the last game there was this bounce on the 50B, and there were 3 bounces or 4 bounces in total on that low hit point IS7, which could have eventually turned around the game to a 3v2 or 2v2 at least, with the Vickers then offering some very decent mobility to run around the map. That would have certainly been a great option for tournamenters. I have also, by the way, not seen what happened with the 268 versus Vickers 1v1 there.
Oh no.
I could only see great HE shot over 1k damage into the Vickers by the 268 when he was trying to circle him apparently. But right. I don't know how he managed to take him out in the end.
All right. Good. Eki will join us for interview later. We will do the analysis first. Let's see, unless that was your analysis, then we can move on.
No, I'm not done yet.
That's very quick.
Okay, I'm loading your stream at the moment.
Alright. I can wait a second. The first game was actually that very aggressive 50B push through the middle by Retty. It was a really interesting choice to take 50Bs there, which don't really have a lot of armor, and if they are stuck in the middle, they might have serious problem, which turned out not to be the case in this game. I don't know, it was a bit of a gamble in my opinion, and I don't know if Retty is going to be able to perform well with such aggressive strats in the actual tournament against the top clans then. These kind of strats are YOLOing one side or the other. They work well to some extent, but if you've got a team like LOCA, for example, just taking strong positions with strong tanks all around the map and then not really offering a weak spot from the start on and then slowly closing the gaps in between them and gaining the map control, that might not work against a team like LOCA, I believe. Will be very interesting to see that later on. Also, there are certainly many other really strong and experienced teams on this tournament. Reddy so far has not made it to the top yet, but I really like the approach that they have shown so far. Really,
Alright.
really creative strats with interesting pushes and also baits, as we've seen on the second Winter Malinovka game, that are very uncommon, actually. They did not just copy bait a strat from some other known clan that has worked in a previous Blitz Cup and really made their own and had a thought on them. So
But,
is my,
I mean-
is my screen free?
True. I mean, you can now do your analysis. I have your screen up.
What were you about to say?
No, I was about to say this.
Okay,
But you
okay.
can begin your analysis.
All right, thank you. Okay, just the first game, 50B push right into the middle area here. Also, we have seen some really exceptional gameplay here by Reddy after this initial push. I really like the positions that they took, and the way also, first of all, it was a really brave move here by Forever Green to just drop into the B cap straight away. And Reddy by that going for double cap strat here from the start on, and tournamenters were really not aware of what to do. They tried to cover Zlatani here, their IS-7, which was in an aggressive position. Like in this situation, it was aggressive. Like technically, it would not be that aggressive, but Zlatani here could get crossfired from lots of different angles. And the main problem were not the 50B and the 60Ps coming from the front, because it was impossible for tournamenters to counter push those three guys that could just fall back. It was mainly for Evergreen here, as Fugit also mentioned. That was a big weak spot in the middle of the map here, and tournamenters should have just taken 2 or 3 tanks to immediately kill that guy and gain the map control, and then go for add one in the middle here, the 50B. That was also, he could have possibly just ran away, and 50B is quite fast after all. But still, tournamenters, they would have maybe lost the IS-7, but not if the IS-7 could actually fall back, if the rest of tournamenters were able to kill the IS-7 and the 50B in that order. And then it would have been far easier for Zlatani to get into safety, not have to push forward into all those tanks here. Would have been far better if it was actually happening that way. But like this, the IS-7 was stuck here. For Evergreen, still not dead. I think it was still taking a long time for Evergreen to die. Let's pause here for a quick second. I just wanted to mention this. Actually, I'm a little bit too far already. Let's move on again. I just really loved the positioning here with add one overlooking the IS-7. So whenever tournamenters decided to push onto the IS-7, add one was there to put in a clip, and it would have cost the pushing tournamenters like 2k hit points. The 50B clip combined with an IS-7 shot or two to kill for Evergreen. So that might have hurt. That might have hurt. Also, those guys pressuring this IS-7, so they had this awesome crossfire like this. Okay, let's move on and not spend too much time on this situation only. It was actually surprising to see Reddy still struggling with the outcome of the game, because they also managed to get to the red line and go for a lot of map control like this. Tournamenters were trapped in a little pocket here, getting crossfire from lots of different angles. And Reddy was, they were closing the gaps, as I've mentioned, how some pro teams usually do it, and they were taking some really nice positions here, yet it was still quite close somewhat. If you are seeing the hit points pretty much neck and neck here at this point, although Reddy still having a slight gun advantage for Evergreen, even still alive after 2 minutes into the game. It was really not working out in a way that Reddy would have expected. Here also I've seen the 60TP not going for an HE into the 50B, I believe. Otherwise, it would have been a low roll. I mean, he could have just chased, tried to ram, tried to HE. He had to kill this 50B for any chance to win the game still, whether he was a one-shot. He had to try it. Otherwise, it would be a defeat anyways. So much about this. Reddy here showing some aggression early on, yet struggling a lot more than on the previous games after that. So let's get over to the second game. Again, Winter Malinovka, different spawn though. And we have seen a very uncommon strat by Reggie, putting an IS-7 alone to the A side. That was an awesome bait here. That, I don't know, I have not seen this kind of bait so far. Tournamenters try to go for the A-sided strat, which Reggie did before, yet being a lot more passive, having set up a lot of tanks in the middle area of the map, waiting for the spots and cross shots onto anyone that would maybe be around there. There's actually also some really nice play here by tournamenters to be set up in a way that they could possibly just rotate anywhere whenever they were collecting the spots. And they only knew about, like, basically they could see some tanks moving towards C. There was at least one guy spotted here, the IS-7's getting into C. So that was some information for our tournamenters. So they thought they would be free to just counter push A. But because of their very passive strat that they have chosen here, they just gave up all the cap advantage. And they had to just, they had to go for the push later on and try to go for the damage game, not the cap game. And it was not working out in the way that they would have expected, actually. Tox Benny surviving for a really long time. The 50Bs covering him well. And I don't know if the 50Bs actually, they bounce a lot of shots also. And I don't know if 50Bs are the best choice for this kind of situation, because they lack a little bit of accuracy at this kind of range. Still, it was working out in a great way. They had their clips ready, 2 clips worth of 1.2k damage each to put into anyone trying to push out this IS-7. And actually, tournamenters did not decide to go for this push. They waited for a really long time, were very hesitant about it, and bled a lot of damage on the crossing. Yeah, they were really slow here to go for this push, but also ready, while previously having been a lot more aggressive on this game. They were not, they had the map control, they had the caps, but they could have been more aggressive than that, in my opinion. That was also what Fugit or White ones mentioned before already. Ready here, not really showing a lot of aggression so far. I think the mouse could have just rolled in while this push was going on into the I-7. Also, those 3 guys on B, they could have certainly pressured a bit more. They farmed a bit, but now they are at a gun disadvantage. I think they could have also counter-pushed already and tried to kill this double 60 TP, for example, while the IS-7 was being taken out by tournamenters. Yet it was still quite easy to win this. And after all, as Reggie managed to secure double caps, still had a mouse, a very healthy full life mouse, covered by double 50Bs here to hold up a push, and it was Reggie winning on caps here in the end. Let's get to the next game, which was already our last one here. Yeah. It was Port Bay and Reggie again doing an unconventional push into the city here, which we are, of course, sometimes seeing, but it is not the most obvious choice. Mostly fights are taking place in the C area. In this case, Reggie ran for a very aggressive push onto A and just sending out the 50B towards the side to cover the A cap. Favor trying, I don't know if he tried to get the cap, but also Reggie here again, they did not hesitate. They noticed, okay, there is someone on the far left side that we can possibly push onto. They could not see anyone else, so they immediately decided to go for this push, take out this 113, which does not have the best armor nor hit points, but has a lot of DPM, and therefore Reggie decided to just quickly take him out. What the 50Bs are really great at, just focusing out one tank, then going for the reload. And it was, at this point, it was already a huge advantage to Reggie, although technically it would have possibly been, there would have been an option here for the other team tournamenters to take the map control. We've just missed here the 50P bouncing another shot, and the IS-7 still had to chase him for that reason. And wasted one shot, basically. because it was not really he was not able to kill the 50B earlier. So that was already one shot. That was a really crucial bounce, and we could see that in the later stage of the game still, when there was the low hit point IS-7. Let's skip forward to that. The rest is just focus fire, which we could probably better see on the stream earlier. And here it is, Zlatani behind this little hill of coal, or what it is, or rocks, trying to get in a shot into this IS-7. It would have been so important to connect this shot, yet he was not quite fast enough to get into a good position to shoot him. The beer is near, also doing some really nice job at reverse side scraping a nice 7 here. And it was still somewhat possible, because mainly also because the Vickers managed to somehow kill the 268. And now the M60 is rolling in, yet he is not going for safe shots. He's bouncing his entire clip on the IS-7, which also allows the beer is near to put in another shot into him. It would have definitely been possible to kill the beer is near, and maybe even beer is near had 672 hit points, so it would have taken 3 shots, but still the M60 would have survived a bit longer, maybe put out another shot into the IS-7 and allowed the Vickers to kill him then. So it would have been 1 Vickers against a mouse on a big map. So also, I think, was a cap advantage actually to tournamenters? No, it was not. But the Vickers could run around the map, and with the mobility, still had somewhat of a chance, even if it is not the biggest one, to win this game then. But it was not working out. Too many bounce shots, and also the reaction from tournamenters came a little bit too late when the 50Bs, or when Retty tried to push onto the 2 isolated tanks in the corner. There should have been a lot of punishment for this move, and tournamenters had to immediately react to that without overextending, without losing that many hit points. They could take safe positions and shoot out the Retty team before then trying to push in again.
I mean, I could also see a lot of bounces coming from tournament at the last few minutes. In the last minute, like it was lots of bounces, which really cost them the game. Right, so thank you, and well, not going to get to AK way too long. In the rooms, then we'll have the interview with Iki, who is currently the captain of Retty, and they just recently qualified to the Blitz Premier Cup. So I'm going to drag all of you there, and we'll do the interview. Come on, right.
Hello.
Hello. Just wait for a moment. I can't drag the pizza up. I'm just going. Oh, there we go. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, I can hear you, Iki. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good feeling. just to. I mean, only the fact that we were able to gather a team for this tournament. It's just a nice thing.
Yeah, I mean, huge congratulations, obviously, winning both W-2-B and Tournament 3-0 to qualify in such a spectacular fashion. But I mean, you have some really great moments, and also some kind of moments that might not have gone very well in your way. I mean, against tournament,
there were battles that were not clear for sure. Like, I mean, especially against tournament, the Winter Molinovka wasn't that good, at least. The one where we had IS-7 on A, where our 50Bs just didn't pen a lot. It wasn't ideal, and also the port bay was much closer than it would be ideal. So whatever. But
yeah,
but nice.
Great to hear. But also, I think one common theme tonight for Retty is that you guys play a lot of aggressive stuff. So how do you plan all these kind of aggressive stuff? Do you have kind of a special formula or some sort to plan these kind of moves?
I don't know, really. I mean, it helps us a lot since last winter season for like a year now, and very often he comes out with some crazy idea and we never really tried to try it, so sometimes we come up with something ourselves with, like, I don't know, there are just some crazy stuff that someone think of and then we try it, and sometimes it works, most of the time not, but yeah. These were one of the better ones, I think.
As you've still struggled a lot to get your team together, were you even able to train a lot before this tournament?
We've trained a lot before Christmas, where we were quite active. Like, we had about 3 convoys per week normally, but since Christmas we didn't train, like, we had 0 trainings basically. So this was, I mean, for us it was like roller coaster with team since autumn season, where we had our like good days and bad days, and we were not sure in the end if the team can have enough players or not, and yeah, not being F, we wouldn't play probably, because he just came and helped us to get the team together again, and yeah.
I was also like, so it sounds like you are not completely thrown into cold water, and your strats certainly didn't look like that.
Yeah, the strats were most of them were trained before, and we had them prepared for some time, but yeah, it was just a longer time since we played them, but it was okay.
I hope you still have some interesting stuff for the later stages then.
Yeah, well, there are many more maps, so I think that shouldn't be a problem, hopefully. I'm not sure how much we are competitive against the other teams in the main stage, but we'll see.
You might be able to surprise them as well with such aggression.
Pardon?
You might be able to just also surprise them as well and manage to like dig a hole into their strong formations.
Yeah,
but it won't be that easy, I believe.
I mean,
I guess
the teams that are there are just all really strong on a high level, so it will be tough.
Yeah, and also other teams have also probably not trained too much before this tournament, actually, because of the Christmas break, etc. So I think that every team might do some mistakes, might show some really strong performance. It will be very interesting to see that.
Yeah.
And from my side, already good luck for the tournament then.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks. And just, I don't know. Yeah, we will see.
Right.
Yeah.
Fugit, do you have... Sorry.
I just would like to say GG's to tournament and W-2-B. It was a pleasure to play with them.
That's really great to know. Fugit, do you have something to ask?
Yeah. Hey, Keith. I know you guys initially struggled to get a team in. The only question I've got is, so how much, I mean, did you have a lot of chance to get together and do some training before this tournament?
I mean, the core of the team is basically the same, or at least if not from the trainings before winter season, or I mean, or like after the Blitz Cup, then at least those players we played together the autumn season. So there was like it's not like you gather 9 different players that never played together. We are just we are used to each other, so this isn't that much of a problem. But yeah, we didn't train since Christmas, so that's the only thing. And like 1 or 2 weeks before Christmas also. But yeah.
Well, I mean, it certainly showed us some great moves tonight. I mean, took me a little bit by surprise on your first game out in Castilla. Very aggressive strat and a grill. Blew me away. That was brilliant. You must have enjoyed that. You must have enjoyed those games when your aggressive strats do pay off.
Yeah, I have to say that personally, this strat is my favorite by far.
Oh, I mean, everybody knows that now. You can't use that now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like when you catch Vickers like that on first minute, it's great, and then also debate with IS7 on the Castilla when it works. It's another like great feeling that you can get the damage out of that, and yeah, it's nice when it works out.
I was just going to ask, I mean, going back to that first game, was it your intention to be the bait and the spotter in an IS7 up there? I mean, it was a fantastic role you played, and you lasted a lot longer than I expected. And it was really well played, by the way. I love that gameplay.
It's basically the plan for the strat. Like on Tactical Link, it's just like that, basically. Also, we played quite similar strats during spring season last year, I think. So it's something that we did not use for first time, just with different things, and yeah.
Well, big congratulations, mate. You showed. I mean, Retty showed that. They're certainly a force to look out for. So I wish you the best for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, thank you.
And final question from me is: in these few days, I mean, you guys going to train for the Blitz Premier Cup Stage 1. So what will be your main focus for these trainings?
I don't know. Focus fire probably.
Potentially,
not
but I
sure
mean,
if we have ideal focus fire all the time, but I don't know really right now.
But I mean, you've shown some amazing focus fire at times. So, I mean, that's obviously something to continue to work with, because good focus fire comes with a lot of time and experience as well.
Yeah, I think that it's just most fundamental basics that you have to have on a highest level possible if you want to compete. I mean, like against anyone. Like when you don't have focus fire, it's just pointless to try.
True indeed. Well, thanks once again for joining this interview at short notice, but I wish you all the best, Retty, in the Blitz Premier Cup. Certainly, we're going to do the group draw soon, and you will soon find out which clans you're going to be with in your group. So, all the best, and celebrate if you can, and we will see you very soon.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye. Right, we'll hop back to that channel probably. Great. I'll join that channel again. Okay. Right, so the most important moment has come. I mean, we're seeing fewer and fewer viewers. I don't think we have enough time to rally all of them to come back to watch this very important moment Or do you want me to do a map draw first, so that we have time to rally the people back to the stream to watch the group draw? What do you think?
Let's go for the group draw. People
Group
have
draw.
voted for
Okay,
that already.
let's do it quick, and let's do it quick. So I'll change the screen. It should show the pots here, and this is not a replay, so I'm going to remove that from this. So once again, what is going to happen? As you can see, there are 3 pots: pot A, pot B, pot C, and there will be 2 groups of 6 clans. So what's going to happen here is that 2 of the clans in the pot, in each pot, will be allocated to a group, and the other 2 to another group. So that is how it's going to work. So for example, you can have LOCA, SNTY, Val, CHRD, TDT, and ZGS in the same group. That is possible, but you cannot have, for example, LOCA, Jones, SNTY, Vale, TDT, and ZGS in the same group. That is not going to be possible. So hopefully, with that being said and that out of the way, let's do the group draw. I'm going to press this button in 3, 2, 1. Good luck. Right, we have the groups. Right, this is going to be interesting. Group 1. We have LOCA, Jones, Val, Immortals, TDT, and SPRTA. Group 2, we have SNTY, Raid, Vale, CHRD, ZGS, and also Rete. I don't know. What do you think about this group?
Group 1 sounds really tough.
Really tough indeed. What about you, Fugit?
I can't disagree with that. It sounds a really tough group. Group 1. If I was anybody, I'd like to be in Group 2. There are some heavy hitters in Group 1, and that is, well, yeah, it's going to be a real big battle, that.
But also at the same time, it would have, I mean, it could happen, for example, I don't know, Val and Vel also in Group 1, and that will be even more so of a heavy hitter, as you say.
That is true, but I mean, wow, I mean, LOCA and Jones, what can I say?
Yeah. So this is going to be a tough one, and with that being out of the way, we're going to draw the fixture list for stage 1. Hopefully someone's going to capture that, and I'm just going to edit this. I'm going to just put all of these in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shuffle the seats, and then we'll have the fixture list. So once again, Group 1, we have LOCA, Jones, Val, Immortals, TTT, and SPRTA. Okay, so let's draw the Group 1 fixture list. Here we go, let's do that. The fixture list is going to be as follows. Right, so I'm going to say, I'm going to press the start the tournament button so that it will not change. I mean, the fixture list will not change. Now, hopefully that doesn't change anything. So, round 1. We'll have Val versus SPRTA to begin with, Immortals versus TTT, and Jones versus LOCA. I'm not going to disclose all of these because that will take me a long time. Just pause the stream if you want to continue to read. The final round we will wrap up with LOCA versus Immortals, Val versus Jones, and TTT versus SPRTA. So I think round 5, this is going to be really important. Val versus Jones. I don't know. This is going to be the important match on Tuesday, and I hope there will be some coverage on this, and this is going to be all the more important, all about getting the direct qualification to stage 3. Once again, the top 2 will qualify directly to stage 3 final stage. 3rd and 4th place to stage 2 last chance tournament, and they will have another chance to get into stage 3, but they will start with only 1 life. That being said, let's go to Team 2. We have Serenity, Raid, Veil, CHRD, ZGS, and Rete. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle the seats now, so you will see the fixture list soon. Okay, here we go. The sheet's been shuffled, and we will have the fixture list coming up very quickly. Hopefully that won't change when I press start the tournament. The challenge links will be provided on the server very soon after the stream's closed. So we begin the day with Serenity versus ZGS, CHRD versus Veil, and Rete versus Raid. And I'm not going to repeat all of these. We end with Raid versus CHRD, Serenity versus Rete, and Veil versus ZGS. Interesting. Not sure if you could catch all of that, but maybe we'll ask about these in the end soon. Right, so so next we have map draws for the last chance tournament. These are not the maps, so don't do any screenshots just yet. Oh no, stream disconnected. Should be back now, isn't it? Hopefully.
It's going okay at the moment, yes.
Right. Okay, good. So I'm going to press the button and we'll begin the draw for the map list for last chance tournament. So there will be 4 fixtures. The first fixture will be the upper bracket first round. Second fixture will be the lower bracket first round. Fixture 3 will be the upper bracket final, and the fixture 4 will be lower bracket final. And I will draw the maps now. Okay, here we go. The map's been drawn. We'll review the maps one by one. Fixture 1, upper bracket first round, we have Camstia again, Winter Mayanovka, and Faust. Lower bracket first round, we will have Hellis, Descent, and Rockfield. Again, Rockfield. Third fixture, we have Port Bay, Alpenstadt, and Oasis Palms. Ending with Canal, Middelburg, and Naval Frontier on this grand final, the lower bracket final, that will decide the final team in stage 3. Right, so there are no duplicate maps as far as I can tell here. And the next maps we're going to draw will be the stage 3 maps. So there will be 5 fixtures. So what's going to happen here is that it's going to be fixture 1, upper bracket first round, fixture 2, lower bracket first round, fixture 3, lower bracket second round, fixture 4, upper bracket final, and fixture 5, lower bracket final. So let me hide all these maps again. Don't worry if you can't catch all of that. We will post all the maps on the server in the end in tournament format, in the tournament format tab or channel. So let me draw the maps for the stage 3. And here we go. Let's do the review one by one. Okay, okay, so upper bracket first round, we have Black Yeovil, New Bay, Port Bay, and Canal. Lower bracket first round, we have Winter Mayanovka, Middelburg, Yukon, and Rockfield. Lower bracket second round, we have Rockfield, Faust, Oasis Palms, and Descent. upper bracket final, we have Alpenstadt, Vineyards, Ghost Factory, and Naval Frontier, ending off with lower bracket final, Normandy, Hellas, Naval Frontier again, and Rockfield. Rockfield has been drawn 4 times as tiebreaker map, which is interesting to say the least. But anyway, here are all the maps for the stage 3, except the grand final, and we will draw them separately. And we can do the grand review soon as I hide all these maps. And there we go. Best of 9. The grand final maps will be now drawn. The maps will be Middelburg, Faust, Kamstia, Canal, and Descent. So here are all the maps that will be played in Blitz Premier Cup. We will update the list in tournament format channel. If you haven't joined our Blitz Premier Cup server already, the link is in the description, I believe. I hope to see you all there, and hopefully we'll see all of you next week. We'll begin with a really busy schedule, obviously. The 10th and 11th, there will be quite a lot of streams happening at the same time, but they will be streaming quite different games. So, with that being said, hopefully you have captured all of the maps, all of the groups, and so on and so forth. Right, I'm not sure what else I have to say.
Yeah, I guess we're done then for today.
Yeah.
It's already been a long session.
Yep.
A lot of news. Some really nice games also.
Congratulations to Retio again, once again.
Yeah, and I really love those threads. Also by Retty there. Some really exciting stuff. I hope to see more of that. While the previous Blitz Cup has been a bit more like it has had its aggressive moments, yet mostly like a bit more boring on the meta. Retty has shown some really nice aggressive stuff working out quite well. I hope others are also going to try similar stuff in the final tournament then.
Fugit, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, Group 1 is going to be entertaining. Group 2, however, is also going to be entertaining. But, you know, you got LOCA, Jones, Immor, Val. I mean, they're big teams. That's not to say TTT and SPRTA are not. I mean, we've seen some fantastic stuff from them. But we've got at least 3 of the top 8 there. Immor, Jones, and LOCA. That's not to say we haven't got 3 of the top 8 in the other group, because we have Raid, Vale, and Serenity. But I just think LOCA and Jones in the same group, that's one hell of a battle. And I can't wait for that. It's one hell of a battle.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would like to be drawn into that group. But absolutely, I think all the spots there in Group 1 and Group 2, they will be up for grabs. I don't think we will be seeing some... I don't think we can predict who is going to go directly to Stage 3 and who will go to Stage 2 and who will be eliminated.
To be fair, I think both groups, they're going to have to fight. Every team's going to have to fight to get there. In those groups, the way those groups are, there's no easy run into it.
Absolutely not.
Right, hopefully someone has seen all the... Oh. They haven't seen anything.
No, I am. It's...
What have they seen that?
They haven't seen what? I hope everything has been broadcast correctly on the stream, though. Or haven't they been? That would be bad. At least let me know it's showing up correctly on the stream.
Are you on the wrong scene, maybe?
No.
Just asking because it happened to me earlier as well.
So the entire draw was not seen. Is that what you mean?
You will only get an answer in 3 minutes.
No, I mean the group draw. Is it shown?
I don't know. I have not checked your stream at the same time.
Let me just try and see if it hasn't been shown. Then I have to do a redraw. That was a kind of big mess.
No, I mean, I'm watching the stream. It's just finished the maps, so the map draw, and I've already taken. I took screenshots earlier of the groups and everything, so that it came through for me.
Okay, I'm just going to double check from my end to see if it's showing up correctly. I believe I've changed the scenes, so at least the maps will stand because it's at least showing up. Not a 1 minute advertisement without a skip button. Well, that's always a good thing to know. Oh, let me just double check then. Right, it has been a fun tournament. Not sure what you guys think. No,
it's been great so far, yeah.
Yeah, it's showing up correctly. I can totally see the draw happening. So, yeah,
Great.
It's shown. So no redraw of the groups. So it will be as it is. All right. So thank you all for watching my stream, and thanks Fugit and Nubita for joining me tonight. Apologies for the stream lagging tonight. Not sure why. It wasn't like that before. Maybe I have to go back to streaming. I haven't gone back to streaming in a while, so we might have some background applications running or some things that has updated and has used a lot more CPU than before. I'll have a look at that. But thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. Without further ado, we'll see you next Monday. And Fugit will stream, Nubita will stream. I'll probably sit back and do the administrative stuff. So make sure to follow Fugit and Nubita, and also a couple more streamers as well. We have Robert, forgot to say hi to you earlier, and we also have potentially we will have Rolling Swarm as well, and potentially Dutch Punisher. On the other hand, we have Robert, Exit, and also Dolik streaming in their own respective languages. And yeah, it will be a really fun tournament to watch.
It will. It starts very soon.
Very soon. 10th of January. Same time as today. The first day will be a bit shorter, but the second day will be, like tonight, will be filled with matches. Right, so that's me, Wildland Southpaw, and I hope to see you all very soon. Catch you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.